What's going on, everyone? Welcome to week quarterfinals. The quarterfinals. It's week quarterfinals. That's the week that it is of the PPL, which means that playoffs are here. If we win, we keep going. If we lose, we are out. And it's pretty scary. So we're going to try our best to win the championship, like I said. And I definitely think we have the team to do it. We're going to have to beat some tough opponents along the way. But I'm ready for the fucking fight. Ultimately, we finished third seed, right behind Mounte and Kelly. And Kelly essentially was second seed, right above me because he won and I lost last week, or I guess 2 weeks ago to Mounte. And Mounte, as the number 1 seed, got to pick his opponent, and he actually chose Kelly, who's the number 2 seed, because you're allowed to pick anyone who's lower than you in the seeding. So functionally, I'm second seed because I was the second to pick. So I had all the other coaches to choose from besides Mounte and Kelly, and I chose Alex. And the reason I chose Alex will be evident in the team builder, but I think Alex is a great player. I think he's a great battler from what I've seen. He knows his shit, and it's not going to be an easy fight just because I chose him. He also is a bit of a, I think, oddball builder, so it's possible that we might run into some unexpected shit along the way, and it'll be a surprising and exciting battle that hopefully we're able to maneuver our way through and come out on top of. So let's get into the team builder and let's crush playoffs, y'all. Let's freaking do it. So I'm not going to beat around the bush. The reason I chose this matchup against Alex is because he does not have a dark type and I have a Deoxys speed. So we're going to be cooking with Specs Deoxys speed this game. And honestly, he just doesn't have a good switch into it. His best switch in on his team that you can see beneath me is some sort of Spidef or AV Archaludon, which is incredibly difficult for me to deal with due to sort of its unpredictable nature and moves. It does get a wide array of coverage moves, and the fact that every time I attack it, I will be giving it a stamina boost, boosting its body press attack, which will definitely come for things like Greninja and Zamazenta. So Archaludon still is scary. Nonetheless, the fact that I can click Psycho Boost so freely every turn is nice. And ultimately, even if it's AV Archaludon, Specs Deoxys Speed is doing just a little under half to it. So ultimately, it can be a switch in once or twice. It's not a sustainable switch in, which is why I still think it's incredibly worth it. Obviously, I can also always risk Focus Blast when I need, or I can click Psychic if I don't want to like lower my stats or risk the miss with Psycho Boost. And then the last move here, Extreme Speed, is here for just quick little like pick-offs if I like am facing some kind of like Trailblaze Ogerpon or some kind of Agility Zapdos, or maybe I need to like break the Gale Wings on something, I don't know. Ultimately, we have Extreme Speed there just in case, because I didn't really need any other moves. So we're really clicking Psycho Boost probably like 90 to 95% of the time, Psychic maybe like 5% of the time, Focus Blast maybe 5% of the time, and then Extreme Speed like 0.01% of the time. So that is the Deoxys. That's what we're centering this team around. So we're trying to build a team that enables this Deoxys, allows it to come in as much as possible, and also pressures back that Archaludon. That is very scary. So how are we going to do that? So let's first talk about how we're going to pressure the Archaludon. So every single time Archaludon comes in on Deoxys Speed or anything else, we want to be able to bring in Swampert. Now Swampert is incredibly useful here because with Citrus Berry it's able to tank a couple Draco Meteors. I can click Stealth Rock, I can click Flip Turn. His removal isn't great. His removal is essentially, I think, just Defog Whimsicott and Oricorio. If even that, I think it also might be Defog Talonflame. Either way, I don't really see him bringing removal this game is what I'm trying to say. So once rocks go up, it'll be pretty good and there to stay. The Rock Chip, even though it's resisted, is crucial damage on the Archaludon every time it switches into Deoxys. And it's also crucial damage against things like the Urshifu and the Ogerpon to get in range of different Greninja hits, which I'll show you later. But ultimately, we're just clicking Yawn plus Flip Turns, the Mounte classic that he tried to run us, that he did run against us last week. We're just doing it with Swampert this time. And yeah, so ultimately switch into Archaludon, click Flip Turn, click Yawn, etc. Right after we click Rocks. That's kind of the idea. And then we're Earth Power over Earthquake again because of that stamina. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yawn is also really nice because if it is Ogerpon Water, because I guess I should clarify, like, Onesie has like 20 Pokemon on this team. Like, it can be any Ogerpon form, it can be any Basket Legion form. It can be any Oricorio form, so I have to account for a lot of different variants of different Pokemon. Ultimately, Yawn is really nice because Water Absorb, Ogerpon, Wellspring will come in on my flip turn potentially, so Yawn is a nice sort of mid-ground to click if I fear that happening. Yep, so that's pretty much Swampert. It's my way to take advantage of Archaludon, get rocks up, and reposition myself in a way that's favorable to me. So that's good. Our other way to pressure Archaludon, as well as the rest of the team, is with Zamazenta. Now, Zamazenta's matchup is quite tricky here. I almost didn't do this matchup against Alex. I almost didn't choose this matchup against Alex because I thought it was actually Zamazenta's worst matchup of the season. Obviously, it's still a Zamazenta, so it's coming. But between Static Zapdos, Flame Body Talonflame, a physically defensive Clodsire, potentially with Rocky Helmet that hard walls it, Zamazenta like struggles a bit, and it also has to land some Stone Edges to be effective here, and kind of dodge some secondary effects. Nonetheless, it's still really good to pressure the Archaludon and other things. It has a very, very good speed tier here, just barely outspeeding the Talonflame. And just clicking like close combat, Stone Edge, Psychic Fangs is good coverage against the team. It's just a question of if I can predict the switch outs like Clodsire and Zapdos and make effective doubles into something like Deoxys Speed, that would be really good for me. So we are just rocking with 3 attacks that get, again, perfect coverage against his team, with the exception of Basket Legion, which I don't think is going to be that big of a deal. And Reflect is there to cover some kind of situation where, say, I'm in against Duraludon and I'm afraid of, say, him calling my double or something. I can click Reflect to tank the body press, or I can click Reflect on a potential, like, say, Clodsire coming in, which will then allow me to go back into Deoxys Speed, choose something like an Earthquake or a Gunk Shot from Clodsire quite easily, and then start, again, firing off those spec Psycho Boosts like I want to be doing in this matchup. And then Reflect is also nice to click against Urshifu. If it clicks something like, Swords Dance or whatever, it just, again, neutralizes Urshifu just a little bit more. Yeah, so that's the team. That's the Zamazenta. That's all we're looking at here. Pretty standard so far, but yeah, that's what we are. We're running Choice Scarf, Protean, and Greninja. Obviously, we've run Battle Bond a little bit more this season, but I think Protean kind of cooks here. I was between Specs and Scarf, but Scarf gives me really good speed control that I need. Scarf gives me the ability to outspeed Talonflame. It gives me the ability to outspeed Scarf Urshifu. It gives me the ability to outspeed Scarf Grass Ogerpon, which is a possibility to come because it's his only potential Scarfer that outspeeds max speed Deoxys Speed. And yeah, it also is a good win con in the end. I think I want to look towards Greninja as a win con after Deoxys breaks, because if Deoxys can break the AV Archaludon, locking into Dark Pulse, locking into Ice Beam, locking into Extrasensory all looks viable if the necessary Pokemon is dead. So if, Whimsicott comes and Terras or dies, then Dark Pulse is looking quite free. If Archaludon properly dies from the Deoxys, then Extrasensory looks free because Psychic Spam is really nice here. And then Ice Beam is also quite nice if the Urshifu's gone, or if the Rain mode is gone as well. So the other reason we have Scarf Greninja is because Swift Swim Basket Legion scares the shit out of me, and we're always outspeeding Swift Swim Basket Legion with Scarf Greninja and KOing it with Dark Pulse. So that is the other reason why Greninja with a Scarf is much more necessary here than, say, Greninja with a Specs. U-Turn is just there because I didn't really know a better move, but I think it can still be useful in a late game where I have to make some kind of like prediction, and that's kind of just it. Yeah. Next mod we're going to look at is Banded Dragonite. So Banded Dragonite is actually our dedicated lead. We just want to be able to lead Dragonite and force him into immediate defensive positioning, because what I like about this matchup is while he does have a lot of defensive checks to some of my mons, like Zapdos for Zamazenta or Archaludon for Deoxys, he's going to be forced to pivot into those quite frequently. So if I'm using a different mon to try and get those like defensive Pokemon out early so I can get information on what they are, and I can also just like force them, say like force Zapdos in a position where it has to like Roost turn 2, which then allows me to get in the Specs Deoxys or whatever, like I want to be able to just put immediate pressure on his team right away, force him into that defensive positioning so I can really pivot into my offense while he's wasting turns, say, recovering, or, again, like, trying to make a pivot. So, leading Dragonite is really nice here. I have the Spadef to live offensive Ice Beam from lead Politoed, which is something that I've noticed he does a little bit. And then Ice Spinner hits stuff like Clodsire, Ogerpon, Zapdos. Earthquake is also nice to hit that Clodsire, but Dragon Claw is quite free. I was between Dragon Claw and Scale Shot, but I just didn't want to miss, so we went Dragon Claw. and it's a pretty safe click. Like, I don't think Whimsicott or Wigglytuff are like entirely guaranteed against my team. I actually think Wigglytuff is like not as bad as people might think it is in this particular matchup, because it can spread T-Wave and actually choose like some of my like Greninja Deoxys hits decently well, but ultimately, like, I think Dragon Claw will be free. And if it's not, if Whimsicott comes, or if you know, Wigglytuff comes, again, it's just about clicking one of those other coverage moves like Ice Spinner or Earthquake and forcing it into a defensive positioning where it either has to click Leech Seed or you know, Wish in the case of the Wigglytuff. Either way, like, he's gonna be forced to go into those defensive Pokemon. Bandit E-Speed is also quite nice for the potential of Agility Zapdos, for the potential of Trailblaze Ogerpon, for the potential of Scarf Urshifu, as well as for potential Golduck under Rain, which is quite scary into my team, especially with just like Terra Water spamming Hydro Pump. That's terrifying. So while we will lead this, it's not going to be sort of like a lead and then die type lead. It's going to be a lead, get one hit off, and then reposition myself as he's forced to react, and then keep Dragonite in the back in order to you know, hold the priority for when needed. So that's what the Dragonite's doing. And then we have Protective Pad Serena. I wanted to spinner this game because I don't want to get like super hazard stacked on, especially since I don't have boots on my Dragonite. Potentially for the first time this season, I don't know. But yeah, I wanted to make sure I have a spinner. I don't necessarily know if rocks will come. Like if Wigglytuff comes, it probably carries rocks, but if Clodsire comes, it's probably carrying T-Spikes or Spikes. If Archaludon is AV, it probably won't be able to run rocks. He could run like a Spikes Ogerpon as well. Either way, none of these are really like good for me, so I do want to make sure I have a spinner. Nonetheless, I want to make sure I get something out of Serena, so with Protective Pads, I'm bypassing Static from Zapdos, obviously, and then the pretty obvious Helmet from Clodsire. And what I'm able to do with Rapid Spin Terra Ice is click Rapid Spin and then guaranteed KO a defensive Zapdos with Terra Ice Triple Axle if I get all 3 hits. Petal Blizzard is again just because I don't want to miss, but it does like 90 something to Urshifu Rapid Strike, so hopefully after hazards it should take it out. It does a good chunk to other things like Basculegion and Politoed. It's also, this thing in general is just really good switch into Politoed. It allows me to sort of like position into the passive mon that he's using to set up Rain, start clicking Rapid Spins to get my speed boost up, and then potentially KO the Rain or force it out. And then High Jump Kick is just for the Archaludon, and I guess if it's like Terra Steel Whimsicott. I wanted to go Low Kick, obviously, for the Archaludon, but turns out Archaludon is like very light for some reason, despite being a bridge, so Low Kick's only 80 base power, so we have to run High Jump Kick to do any damage to the Archaludon. So that's the team. I feel pretty good about it, to be honest with you. Like, I think the matchup is good. It's the reason why I chose the match, and that's mostly just because, like, Specs Deoxys Speed should always claim one every time it comes in, with the exception of Archaludon, and the rest of the team is positioned to react to that. So that's the team. Hopefully it goes well. Alright, we're fucking here. We got playoffs. I'm terrified. Again, I think the matchup's good, but it is just scary to face someone, especially someone who you chose to match up against, because the prospect of losing and saying that you know, picked the wrong matchup sucks. So I'm in a way expecting something that I'm not expecting, if that makes sense. Like, I think there's a couple ways he can go about this, but we'll see. Alright, I was right. So it's Ogerpon Wellspring. That is very interesting. So I was contemplating if I wanted to change my lead to Zama, but after seeing this Ogerpon Wellspring, I think it makes less sense. It's not Rain, which is kind of insane. It's also the female Basculegion. Okay. Without Rain, that means adaptability, I'm pretty sure. So that's good. If we can eliminate Whimsicott, Scarf Dark Pulse looks like a really solid win con. Slash if we can eliminate Basculegion, Scarf Ice Beam looks like a good win con. So that's, I think, what we're going to aim for. I think I'm just going to go with what I've been feeling is right this whole time. Like, for some reason I'm getting cold feet about this Dragonite lead, since I feel like, especially against this team, I feel like E-Speed's going to be so crucial. But I live anyone hit, so it should be okay. We are going to see Fabian, which is who? It is the Whimsicott. So Zamazenta would have been better, but that's okay. Okay. So Whimsicott is here, Whimsicott is now. do I take a hit from Whimsicott, even if it is Specs Terra Fairy? I do take a hit no matter what. There's no rocker, so I think Ice Spinner makes a ton of sense. We just see Moonblast come off. It's a raw Moonblast, so that does like literally nothing. And then Ice Spinner is gonna come off. So it's not Specs. Does this just die? It does just die. Okay, that's a huge turn. So all of a sudden the Terra user is gone. And now something new comes in. Dragonite's multi-scale is broken, but it's not the end of the world. So Basket Legion's going to be tough for me to switch into. I do have a Spit Off Swampert, but I don't. I want to figure out this Archaludon first. Big League. That sounds like a Basket Legion. Okay. So this could be Scarf. It could be... It is Adaptability, I'm sure. When it comes down to it, Serena is my least valuable one. I think I am going to go Serena here. Ice Beam could come off, but I live it. And I can pivot accordingly if it is Ice Beam. A huge part of me wish it can go Gren there, and maybe it's worth it, but if Gren gets Ice Beam frozen, it's like the end of the world. So Shadow Ball comes off. Is this KOing? That does a ton of damage, and it's Life Orb. Okay. I think I can actually preserve this and go into Gren and fire off a Dark Pulse, because it forces him to react to a Dark Pulse, which is nice, and his only answer is the Archaludon, which frees it up for Perk. He makes a double here, so this is at 90 now, this Basket Legion, and he goes hard into the Archaludon. Whew, okay. That's pretty bad for me. I don't want to U-turn and activate Stamina. I think I'm just going to go hard Mud Puddle here. I have to be questioning the possibility of Solar Beam, but if I was, say, Scarf, which is probably why he made that play, and he was Power Herb Solar Beam, I would be shocked if he was willing to, say, let that get knocked off. Dragon Pulse over Draco Meteor is fine. I think I'm going to get my rocks up now, because it's going to tell me what's boots, and it's going to slowly put this thing in range over time. That looks like some Spatak. Metal Burst comes off. Okay, good to know that he has that. That does mean that I get a Yawn here. He switches, it might be Ogerpon to stop the flip turn. It's Talonflame. Interesting. So this, like, is boots, right? Because I just got rocks up. It's not Solar Beam. I could flip turn here if he tries to go into Ogerpon. I don't really feel like I have a better switch in. And if he goes Ogerpon, I feel comfortable just going into Zama. So I think I'm going to flip turn here. I still have my defense boost intact. So we see U-turn come off. That's fine. Ogerpon might come in, and that's okay. I think our positioning is still decent. Actually, this comes in. Interesting. Okay. So it means we had a flip turn off. It's not boots, so it's, again, probably AV. Flip turn's going to come off. And he's going to get a stamina boost. It's a thing. We'll deal with it. And now my question is, like, what do I even go into? Because my answer was this perk. I don't want to waste my defense buff. I think Dio will allow me to go back into perk, which is cool. It seems kind of risky. I think I'm going to go Dio, and I'm going to go back into perk. But what progress does that force me? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. It does allow me to get my Citrus Berry. I don't don't like this though, because my switch into this is very slowly dying. I think I'm gonna flip. Or do I yawn again? I think I yawn again. I want to force something to sleep. And if he's not going to this ogre pawn, what that tells me is it tells me that it's likely like a Trailblaze set, which is making me regret not having Sludge Wave on, okay, Body Press. 244 to 120. So that might kill me. But he has to switch here. He has to. He doesn't have a choice. So we'll go flip turn here, or we go hard into an answer. I think the actual like move, unironically, is to go Zama here, even though it would mean I have to chew a word sentences. It would mean I have to chew a fucking body press. The Stone Edge is so valuable. Or I could just go into Dio. Dio might be the play. Let's go Dio. He switches out, yeah. And if Talon comes in, there's no... Oh, he goes Ogre Pawn, that's even better. Okay. Alright. So the play, without question here, is to Psycho Boost. I don't think he can afford to let this go down. He does let it go down. Okay. Ogre Pawn is gone. But I haven't sent Zama in. You know what I mean? Alright, there's this thing. Do I just want to, like, Psycho Boost this? Like, it's necessary damage, and it gets in range of the other thing. Is Dio dead to, like, a max adamant hit? Deoxys versus Archaludon. Nope, not Archaludon. Talonflame. It's not Choice Band. It's Boots. Brave Bird should never KO. Nothing should ever KO here. So I think I just Psycho Boost for like as much damage as humanly possible. Because I don't need chip on this. Or I don't care if this thing gets chipped. Yeah, we see U-turn come off. Okay. So I live that easily. Like, very easily. It's not even max attack. It's, like, no attack. So Talonflame's at, like, 35. If I can chip down this Archaludon, I'm in a good spot. Zapdos is here. Zapdos is now. We could see Agility come off. I think this is the time where I just have to sack Bimbo Doll. I don't even know. I'm afraid of, like, clicking Psycho Boost may have been the downfall on me there, because... Hurricane. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so Bimbo Doll's dead. This thing is Hurricane. Was this thing Boots? I don't even remember. I think it was. I think I would have noticed if it wasn't. I think I just go Dio again. And click Psycho Boost. I think that's my play. Yeah, okay, so it was Boots. I just go Dio and click Psycho Boost again. If this doesn't die, say it's like Spadef for some reason. No, it's dead. Okay, Specs Dio is doing everything that I thought it would in this matchup. Deoxys has claimed 2 things so far, so let's keep it going. If I get Basket Legion chipped just a little bit, okay, that's the bridge. Do I want to go hard Zama here? I might, but Metal Burst is scary. I think I want to go hard Zama. So, here's where things get weird. I don't think it's worth ever clicking Reflect here. I think if he KOs me with Metal Burst, that's fine, because then Scarf Gren wins. So let's just click Close Combat. He switches out. Okay. Ardex. Is it the Talon? That's the Talon. Okay. It's a defensive Talon. I'm sure this won't kill. I might get Flame Bodied. I don't get Flame Bodied. I think I'm still okay. I think I will just Psychic Fangs here. No Flame Body Burn. Huge. If I did get Flame Body Burn there, I think I still would have CC'd the thing. You know what thing I'm talking about. Okay. Zama's still incredibly valuable right now. I think I just go into Mud Puddle to sack it off. Agility. Okay, that's terrifying. That's horrifying. Okay. Do I lose? I might lose. Holy shit. Okay. Earth Power here. Is Zama dead to a Life Orb hit? I didn't even think about agility. Basket Legion. It's probably Modest. Modest, Life Orb, Hydro Pump. Should not be doing it. Psychic Fangs isn't doing a ton though, which is what's scaring me. What does this get for Gren though? Going this may have been a throw. I just Psychic Fangs here, right? Let me actually see, like, what does this get, like, Focus Blast or something? I don't know. Oh, that agility was such a good play. I don't think this KOs, though. Yeah, okay. Least valuable Mon. Unironically, Deoxys. Because this outspeeds Dio now. Yep. It doesn't get a grass move. It doesn't get a fighting move. I don't think I'm dead to anything. Unless I'm like majorly throwing. Either way, Dio is least valuable. At this point. Okay. Let's take a look at Gren. Life Orb, Modest, Hydro Pump versus Gren. It doesn't look like it. Like, it doesn't look like it does it. Am I missing anything? I don't think so. I might die to, like, Hyper Beam, but that's okay, right? So, I think I go Gren, and I think I click just U-turn, because that allows me to bring in Zama without forcibly giving it a defense boost. Sounds right. This agility Basket Legion scares the shit out of me. Holy shit. Okay. Troubled Waters in. I think I misplayed, like, massively around this Basque Legion, by the way. I just assumed it would have something for me. Okay. Do I think that this outspeeds my Dragonite is the other question. I don't think it matters. I think no matter what, I go into Zama to click CC. And if I'm dead, I'm dead. But Basque Legion takes Rocks Chip, etc. Like, I think I just CC here. Do as much damage as I possibly can. This might not KO, because, yeah. But Ice Beam from Gren should do it. Keyword should. Like, surely. This went from what I thought was like a really comfortable win to me kind of like messing it up at the end. Just in case it, like, no. Ice Beam kills. Let's be real here. Like, I'm Protean. This does the most damage. I'm not going crazy. I'm not crazy, I swear. Dead? Dead. Holy fucking shit. That was so well played with the fucking agility. I should have just stayed in and clicked psychic things. I didn't think about the fact that it gets some means of boosting its speed outside of like Swift Swim. Are you dead to rocks? You're not dead to rocks. Okay. So Gren will claim 2. I think. Wow. Okay. Good game, Alex. Holy shit. I think I did what I needed to do. I mean, I think I broke sufficiently with Deoxys, but oh my god, I was so scared with that Basque Legion. So good game to him. We move on to semis, which is how we did last season. So hopefully we can do better than that this time. But ultimately, we saw our breaker, which was DOS. We saw our cleaner, which was the Scarf Gren, and we went with it. So holy shit. Good game. And yeah, so we'll see who we play in semifinals. All I know is it won't be Mount A. So it will either be the winner of Vepsis versus Killua, or it will be the winner. Well, it can't be Killua, actually. All right. I will either play Vepsis, Shroom Raver, or J-Ricky, is I think how the math adds up. Or actually, no, I don't think it's possible for me to play J-Ricky. So I think it's either Vepsis or Shroom Raver, I think. We'll see. Anyway, I'll see you all then, and thanks for watching.